Good evening, everyone. I'm Nathan, here with my wonderful wife, Laura.
Hello.
And we're here to do a review of the Milton Bradley Travel Pack Downfall games. In other words, it's Travel Downfall.
Yes, so there is a normal-sized version of this game. We had it a long time ago. I think we got rid of it well before we had
I didn't like it.
No, but now we have the travel version.
Well, it's because this one promised miles of smiles.
Well, we can't turn that down now, can we?
So, it's an interesting one. For one, it's a fairly expensive game to find these days secondhand, or even new. I think they re-released it, but it's fairly pricey. And two, I don't like it because my mind doesn't work very well with spinning things and all that.
Doesn't work this way. So the idea, it's kind of a little strategy puzzle sort of game, but for 2 players. You have to get some numbered tokens from the top to the bottom, but you both play on different sides of the board.
You've got to get the tokens numbered 1 to 5, and you've got to get them in the sequential order.
Yep.
If you don't get them in sequential order, you lose.
Yes. So we'll try and do our best to scan these instructions and have in the link in the description. There's a couple of rips and things on the box, so...
But you get the gist of it.
You can still make out what to do. It's only really this bit here. So, all right. So
Actually, I was going to say they made quite a few travel pack games, I believe, not just Downfall.
No. So this is obviously a lot smaller than the normal version. We found also a little flimsier and harder to get it to work just right.
Yes, there's a problem with the actual build of the unit, which is...
Not in an awful way, it's just a little looser having played the normal version in the past.
So this particular travel one you actually have to put together. There's a couple of, you have to put together the tray originally, and I think the top bits, you have to push out the little tokens here.
So they came in these, push them out. These come in 4 different colours, these little tokens, and there is meant to be 5 in each colour. We are missing some in the version we have, unfortunately. They're just small little plastic discs, and they go from 1 to 5. This is number 2 in the yellow.
I'm trying to get some...
And even though this is for 2 players, as I said, it is in 4 colours because each player has 2 colours to play with.
Which I can't remember. Was that the same in the original, like the regular one?
I can't remember. I think maybe. It's been a while since we've had the original. Anyway, so you take all of these out after folding these little storage container, essentially it is. And that helps it stand up as well. Pull all of those out.
Do not play this on carpet, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit wobbly. You want a nice sturdy surface.
So you also then need to take off these top little corners, because there's like a little Allen key sort of thing, which you use to put in the cogs.
To turn
or
the
gears
cogs.
to
Yeah.
turn them.
Now, so you can see this side, this is player 1 here. Oh no, wheel 1, sorry.
Wheel 1.
Wheel 2, 3, 4, 5. We have the same thing on the other side, although the little openings on the cogs are a little bit different. So one player's one side, they don't know exactly where the openings are on the other side, or the other player is.
So you might
playing.
accidentally help someone without realising it. So at the start of the game, a little arrow on each of the white cogs that has to point to the arrow on the blue base.
Yes, now the idea is to put these in the middle and then twist it. You can do it without these if you found it and these were missing. It's just a little bit more
So
awkward.
if we turn this around, you'll also find the arrows are roughly, which we'll discuss in a moment, while they're roughly pointing the same.
Loose.
Yeah.
The cogs are a little bit loose. You sort of knock them, and some of them will just move really easily, more than others.
And that becomes a problem later in the game. But shall we load up first?
Yeah. So make sure all your arrows are aligned, and then you pick your 2 colours. So say Nathan's playing this side.
So I'll go orange. I go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now just put 4 in because we are missing some of the others. So
Alright.
normally you would put all 5 in, and you're going to play what other colour?
Red. So 1, 2, 3, and then
4, because our 5 in the red is missing. So that would be, only Nathan would be able to see that side. So if we were playing, Nathan would be over here, I would be on this side, but obviously we're not actually playing. So we'll turn it around. I would then load mine.
So 1,
Yep.
2,
3, and we're missing 4 in the green, so we'll just pop the 5 in, but we still know that's
Yeah.
the order they're in. For the yellow, we go 1, 2, 3,
4.
and 4.
So we'll just leave these 2 out here since they're extras in this.
You should be loading all 5 in each of the slots, but obviously we don't have them all.
So basically, you take turns moving a gear as much as you want. You can only move 1 gear per turn.
Yep.
And then the next player then does the same thing, except they can't move the gear.
The same gear.
Yeah, the last person just moves. So if I go, okay.
Okay, so say Nathan was going first. He's obviously going to move the top one just to get something moving.
So got an orange sort of there.
They drop in. Yep.
And I might move it so it's sort of in line with number 2.
Yep.
If we turn across to Laura.
So I can't see his side again, so I wouldn't know what's in his place. But Nathan has inadvertently gotten one in this hole for me.
But it's not in line with...
No, so they're not the same on each side. Now, I can't move this one because he's just turned that one, so I would have to think about what else can I do to help myself. I would probably look at number 2 then, so I can turn it and line that slot up, so that hopefully next turn I can turn that one. Goes back to Nathan's turn, so he can't turn wheel 2 because I've just turned it, so he has to pick 1, 3, 4 or 5.
So, okay, I'm not going to move this because I can't load anything in there. I can't move 2 since Laura moved it. So I would probably move, I'd probably move 3 so it's sort of in line.
They do have to be pretty well in line, otherwise they do get stuck a little bit, the coins, especially in this version. And again, you probably just saw me tap it then and I moved it by mistake originally out of whack. So just be careful when you're taking your key out, because when they move slightly, it kind of makes a big difference.
and that you can actually waste. What we found, which was the biggest issue we found when playing this particular version, is that we just have to spend a turn just moving it slightly just to get it in line, and we're not sure if that's because it's been knocked or what. But it's like, oh gee, it's like slightly out. Say like here, is that just because it's been knocked? All right, I'll use a turn to move it in place.
But then it might have been knocked by then the next turn again. So you just be wary of that. Again, this is why I play this on a solid surface. We just take it in turns to continue that.
So then you could move number 1 now.
Yep, so I'd do number 1, and then my little yellow one would fall into here.
But you could keep on spinning that, even if that fell in.
I can. So if that falls in and I've still got my key in here, I can keep spinning it and I can take number 2, or I could have gone and got the green one. I might then keep turning that around and then line that up for next time with the same slot or something like that. Depends on the strategy you're going for, of course.
And I can't move number 1 again. So...
And I've managed to put Nathan's one back up just by how I've turned the wheel.
So you basically keep going. So Laura might then load that, and then I would load one. Then Laura would load another one.
You go backwards and forwards. Well, we can see your hand. So we go backwards and forwards, slowly working them down to the bottom. Again, you might help the other person by lowering theirs, or you might kind of stuff them up a little bit by mistake. Again, you don't know for sure, so you've kind of got to play your own game and just think about your own strategy. You also have to be careful. So how Nathan's just moved mine down here.
Dangerous.
Number 1 is here. That actually has to come out first, and this is the exit slot here from wheel 5. So I would need to be very careful at this point not to accidentally get number 3 turned out.
Because if you get any of the numbers out of order...
You lose instantly.
Now, I can get number 1 yellow down. So
let's see how it didn't go through these. This is a bit careful when you're lining them up.
So I got number 1 down, and then I could also get number 1 down in the green.
Yeah.
As long as they're sequential in the numbers you're getting down, if that makes sense.
In each colour, yeah. So you could bring down 1 yellow, then 1, 2, 3, 4 green if you wanted to.
As long as the next yellow was number 2.
Yes. So each colour kind of runs separately. That's pretty much it. You keep doing that until one person gets all of them down to the bottom. Like we said, if someone makes a mistake and goes, oh, there's number 3, but hang on, your number 2 of that colour didn't come out, I forfeit, Nathan would win.
So yeah, there's quite a lot of strategy. If the build quality was slightly better, I don't think I'd have much of a problem.
This is a travel version though, so they're always going to maybe have a few more flaws just because they're a lot smaller than the original. From what I recall, the original was a lot sturdier.
It was massive, if I recall. The actual playing board and size and all in the box and everything was.
And it was a lot easier to deal with. There was less. Oh no, I've accidentally like knocked it when I put the key out. I like the game. I like that there's the strategy behind it, but you can also just have fun. If you don't win, you don't win. You just don't think this way.
Well, I don't get it. I don't get what I should be doing or the best sort of strategy. You know, some things, you can just play to win or play to just because it's fun. But I don't get it. Even like when I'm playing just for fun, I'm like, but why do I do that? Too much for my small reptile brain.
Oh dear. So I would recommend it if you like sort of sitting there and having that sort of thought process, that strategy going into it. But I would recommend buying the full-sized one, not so much
they
the travel.
did re-release several years ago, a while now. But the original, like, 80s or 90s version, I think is still pretty expensive.
But yeah, if this looks really exciting to you, go for the normal
definitely.
one. The other thing with this one too is if you're traveling with it, you couldn't play this actually when you're moving in a car.
No, you'd be like, oh.
You'd be knocking things, I think. And obviously if you're, at a campground or a hotel, you're more likely to lose these really tiny little pieces.
Really tiny.
We actually lost one. So most of the ones that are missing, we didn't lose. But we lost one on the floor. Then we played this yesterday, and we were like, oh no, we're missing a yellow one. But we found it. It had just fallen out because this doesn't really...
It sort of locks in, but loosely.
When you close this, it just gently kind of sits in there. So something to just watch out for. Maybe get a container for the pieces if you are traveling with it. That's my thoughts.
Down with downfall, in my opinion.
Fair enough. If you enjoyed watching this video, give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section down below what games you like to travel with. Is this something you would take with you, like on a trip? I know you wouldn't.
I just take Uno.
Just Uno.
Just Uno.
Or Uno. Either way.
Either way.
Hit that subscribe button and check back soon. We have videos every single Tuesday.
Sounds good.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.